Ladies and gentlemen, we will now progress with the proceedings today, paying our memorial tribute to a pioneer in the world of business as far as Pakistan was concerned, as well as UAE in Dubai. I had the pleasure of sitting and meeting and discussing business opportunities with Haji Saab in Dubai. I met their family, daughters, I met all their workers, etc. And I can only say that he was a real legend in the world of business. I'll tell you a little bit more as we go along, but what I'd like to do now is to bring forth some other speakers here present today with us who would like to say a few words during this memorial tribute to Haji Saab. I'd like to welcome now at the House of Lords today, Monday, let's see, Dr. Suhail Chughtai from Apex TV, and he's also, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself when you come on?
Thank you very much, Lord Kurbanus, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity to speak at this house for a person, I think, who has the history of evolution of Pakistan TV. If you write, there would be one name shining loud and clear, bright and shining, and that is Haji Abdul Razzak Yaqoob. And I say this not just out of emotion, it is actually a statement made on figures and statistics. I mean, if you look back, many of you, or maybe few of you probably remember 1950 when American consulate in Pakistan did a demo of TV in Mazar-e-Qaid. That was the first exposure of Pakistani Qawm or nationality, nationals, to a TV channel, a local channel set on Mazar-e-Qaid. That was the flavor of a TV. And then in 1964, and I think some of you may remember the day when PTV came into being, November 1964 in Lahore. It's not personal. But that is the time when Pakistani TV came into being. And then I remember 1976, when the whole transmission became color. It was still an evening transmission, 5:30, 10:30, finishing with the Pakistani anthem. And I remember that grainy screen with Pakistani anthem flowing. And when that was in the background, my mother used to say, "You're waking up too late, you must sleep, there's a school in the morning." So PTV came in, and then the evolution carried on. I mean, in 1980, the morning transmission started. And that was the big change. And then in 1988, the bottleneck of government censor was released. There was a semi-government channel, STN. That was the time when the bottleneck of the news release was semi-opened and a semi-government channel came to being. But that was not enough, because the evolution had to go on. If you stop information, you strangulate people, you take oxygen away. And that was done at that time. And then came 1990, I think, NTN, Network News, Network TV, Television Marketing Channel came into being. That was the first full private channel. But financially it didn't survive. In 1999, that went off air. Then Haji Saab, I think he was a visionary. He was a visionary. He brought ARY digital into the market from England at that time. I think he bought a channel which was converted into a Pakistani Urdu channel, Urdu Pakistani channel. And that channel was the revolution of a free intellectual media representative of Pakistan globally, because it had two clear effects. One was internal effect, one was external effect. And the external effect was, again, basically, I think you may remember when you had 20 channels here on UK programming, no Pakistani channel. You used to go buy videos, £10 or £8 per 24 hours, and watch them. And that was the only link to your identity outside your local interaction. So identity crisis was a factor in the society which was not addressed by Pakistani media. And Eric Erikson is a very famous psychologist in 1980s. He did a lot of work in psychosocial development. He said if a nation loses identity outside their country, negative identity creeps in. Weak people take drugs, crimes, Very weak people go in procrastination. They can't decide for their future. So there was a need for a channel to anchor people outside Pakistan back to Pakistan. And I think this was where ARY stood upright. I'm really proud to say that Haji Sahib had shown a lot of vision that time. It was not just a business venture. It was economic venture. It was a cultural venture. It was a social venture. And that time, identity adherence was important. So that was one effect, external effect. The other was the soft image of Pakistan. Imagine there was bad news about Pakistan. Pakistan was always on the defensive. There was a video about Pakistan, and all we could do is defend in local print newspapers. There was no kind of, you can say, neck-to-neck competition. How can a print media compete with video? So there was the need for a video channel to defend Pakistan. And that is again an external effect. A soft image of Pakistan was portrayed. But that was the external side. But what about the internal effect? I think if you just look at the formation of opinion, I think free channel can democratize society. A government-owned channel cannot. How can you imagine a government giving you information and you expect to have a democracy in the country? And people much wiser than me, Dr. Zedyu Khan Saab, sitting here can probably understand it much better than me, that a free flow of information without any truncation, any editing from the government sector is required for establishing a democracy in the country. So that is where ARY had internal effect. It democratized the public opinion. You know, people watching debates, it's not just sitting and watching a debate and coming out of it clean. You interact with that. You come out of that debate with an opinion. He was right, he's wrong. And that forms the electoral opinion. So you choose your leaders, and that is the bigger effect of that. And plus the internal effect, like creating jobs. You know, you see a lot of people otherwise who would be not doing anything, but they have got ARY mic or any TV channel mic, and they are taking interviews. So there's a lot of ramification of what Haji Sahib did. And I think this is an amazing thing. I am really proud to say that he was not a businessman only. He had a vision for developing, seeing Pakistan as a much brighter country. And he did that. And he was supported by, I read brief history, Haji Iqbal Sahib, Haji Jan Muhammad, then Haji Abdul Rauf, and then the young generation, Salman Sahib and yourself sitting here. And then the operations are led by Fayaz Ghafoor, so very, very enthusiastic, always after people. So it's a great thing, and I think I support Pakistani channels because they are lessening the effect of identity crisis of overseas Pakistanis. I think it's 100 plus countries ARY is going now, 165. So imagine how much Pakistanis are being connected, how much effect is being created. So I think at that note, I really want to end. But I want to say that for the last few days of Haji Sahib, I was involved in the management, and Fayaz got me into the management of making a board. So we had Haji Sahib transferred into Wellington Hospital, and the consultant who was looking after Haji Sahib, he gave me a feedback. He said, this man is a fighter. In the wake of all the serious illnesses, Haji Sahib was confident, he was upright, and he used to have a very gentle smile on his face. So I pray for Haji Sahib, and I wish that his family, in particular Shabana, the daughter who was interacting with me regarding the management, they have courage to bear this loss. It's a loss for all of us. And I really joined the prayer, and I'm thankful that I had a chance to say some words about Haji Sahib. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suhail. Thank you.